All right, and let's move it on. So we have the Milwaukee Brewers here. Again, moving it on alphabetically, as I like to do. Look, Yelich obviously he's a monster, right? Certainly a top five player. Depending on your I guess Brewers bias, if you're a big fan, or your opinion. I mean, he could range anywhere from between one to five. I think we have him at four in our rankings, but at that top, man, you're splitting hairs. I have questions. I do like Josh Hader, although this year I think he's going to have less save opportunities. I actually have him on my keeper league, and I have questions about the starting pitching there. I have questions and concerns, and I think Eric's going to have some comments. But again, because we're airing these teams separately on YouTube, we should mention the Fantasy Football Almanac and Draft Guide. Eric is basically the genius behind the analysis there. I run some numbers, and I kind of dig into the analytics. But if you buy that guide, long story short, not only do we have you primed for the draft to kick ass on draft day, but we also give you in-season advice. It comes directly to me and Eric. We tell you how to access in-season advice for free. Other almanacs, other services, they make you pay like $5 a month. Not us. You buy the Fantasy Draft Guide. It's a gateway into the full season of support. But Eric, let's talk some Brewers, man. What do you think? Hitters, pitchers, tell me about it. Who do you like?
They took a big step back
I
after they
agree.
lost Grandal, they lost Moustakis. So really, for me, outside of Yelich, the only guy I'm drafting is Hira,
Yeah.
the second baseman. I like him a lot. He did a lot in a in a small sample size. I think he's going to come out, and by the end of the year, I think he's going to be fully entrenched as a top 10 second baseman.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I agree, and again, you kind of get better with the analysts or the analytics, but as I was kind of reading through and putting these things together, I was looking at it and seeing them track well. Let me pull up. 2019, he had 51 runs. What I like when I kind of look for these young guys, and Eric and I are working on, creating breakout metrics. But one of the things I like to do is I like to look at doubles versus home runs, and I like to see how even they are. 23 doubles, 19 home runs. I like that. Strikeouts, 107. Batting average is 303, which I like. 570 slugging, 2.1 WAR in the full season of duty there. A lot to like, man. 23 years old, especially if you're in a dynasty or you're in a kind of a deeper keeper league. He's a good one to pick up for sure. I like him. But I'm looking at our rankings, right? We have Yelich at number 4. We have Hira at 75. We have Woodruff at 86. Hader at 87. And then it falls off a map. And that's my concern. So, hitters wise, you just mentioned you like about 2 of them. Pitching, man, what do you think there? Because that's where my big concern is.
yeah, I mean, they've got, they don't have anyone that you're just going to sit there and go, oh God, it's this guy. So, they don't have that number 5 starter that you're looking at and saying, oh geez, they're screwed. But outside of Woodruff, they don't have. I guess the best way to put this is Brett Anderson right now is their number 2.
Mm,
And that's not a great thing, but it's not a terrible thing either. They've got some good guys. I think Lindblom is an interesting case. We just don't know what he's going to be
sure.
coming over or coming back from Japan. And Hauser was interesting to me late in the year. Same thing with Lauer, but there's not a lot I'm drafting, barring a really deep league. If you're in one of those leagues where pitching is just flying off the shelves and you've got nothing left, take a look at Lindblom, take a
Sure.
look at Hauser. But yeah, there's a lot of questions, as there was last year. I still have no idea how the hell he made it through that season, with that staff and made the playoffs. I really don't, and I called him to be in there, but it was one of those where they're going to do it. I don't know how the hell they're going to do it, but they're going to do it.
But you don't see
I
that
don't see
happening
that being
this
the
year,
case.
right?
No, because the Cardinals are still a better team, and the Reds I think are a much better team. And if they're going to have to fight for a wild card, there's too many other teams that I'd put ahead of them throughout the league, like Arizona, like the Padres. I think are going to be a better team than they were last year. Nationals, Phillies, all those guys are going to be duking it out. And I don't think that the Brewers are going to have enough, at least not at this point, barring a couple of major additions, to really do that.
Sure. Yeah, let me say this, and maybe it's because the Brewers, while I was playing Little League, they were the second team I played on, but the first really good team that I played on. Meaning, like, not obviously the Brewers, but that's just happened to be who Little League assigned me the team. I like that older school hat with the glove on it. That kind of that royal blue with the glove and the baseball on it. I
Yep.
know this is completely off topic, but I like that hat. First
It
team I was
was
on. Eric, first team I was on, Chicago Cubs. And so I've always liked the Cubs. As a 5-year-old, I was on the Cubs, and so I've always liked them. Now I live in Chicago. And then the third team, interestingly enough, I was on is the next team we're going to talk about, the Pittsburgh. Oh, wait. Wait. Let me talk about this. High and low. Do you think there's any chance that the Brewers can make the playoffs? Let's best case, worst case for them.
Best case is what they did last year, that they just overperform in the rotation and things click. I think it's going to take a little bit of a struggle from the Reds and the Cardinals for them to get in there, because I think their only path to it is a division title.
Yeah.
There's a chance, obviously, they've got a lot. They've got, a guy at the end in Hader who can shut it down. So if they get to him, it's almost automatic. But I find it hard, and like I said, I think they're going to be duking it out for third and fourth place with the Cubs.
Yeah, interesting, man. Very interesting. I like the turnover year to year in Major League Baseball. For years when kind of we were growing up in the '90s and 2000s, and I grew up a baseball guy. We were both baseball guys. Used to trade cards and all that stuff, and then I gravitated to football. So football is my love, and baseball is your love. That's why our little company, I think, does so well, is because we have kind of, I think, what I would call experts in both sports. But I really like today's, with the second wild card spot, you just get a lot more mix, and you feel like you're into it. Even my pathetic Orioles were in it a few years ago. So, it's kind of fun. But